Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
And welcome to kind of an emergency, like a planned emergency episode of Purple Daily here, because the Minnesota Vikings 2024 schedule, Judd Zulgad, has been released, and we are about to pop it up on the screen here for the YouTube audience. We are live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, and for those of you listening on demand, Apple, Spotify, we appreciate you as well. But happy official schedule release day, Judd. Here we go.
Always an interesting day. Always a very intriguing day to see how the opponents fall. And there's certainly some interesting things here, some interesting stretches. And a realization that clearly the National Football League agrees with Vegas when it comes to Vikings win total, at least right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have kind of avoided spoilers all day, and I've seen some glimpses of it. But just some parameters here. So we're just going to this isn't going to be a super long episode. We're going to go through and just give you the schedule, give you the games, and some quick thoughts about the games and just kind of the order of the schedule. Then we're going to do a deep dive and pick the schedule on tomorrow's Purple Daily.
Full
we're gonna
digestion.
Sleep on it, chew on it.
Full digestion tomorrow.
Yes. So here we go, folks. The 2024 Minnesota Vikings schedule on your screen. We'll start with the preseason real quick here. So 3 preseason games. Thursday, August 10th at the Seattle Seahawks. That's a 9 p.m. Central Time start time. Saturday, August 19th, home against the Tennessee Titans at 7 p.m. And then the third preseason game is Saturday, August 26th, home against the Arizona Cardinals at noon. Week 1 of the actual...
Wait.
Whoa. Oh, this is the wrong... Oh, my God.
This is 2023. We already have a hiccup.
They mislinked on their website.
Oh,
That's
no,
amazing,
even
dude.
worse. Even worse, Vikings. How could you do this?
Hold on, let me pull up. So you have it in front of you, but let me pull it up for the audience.
Yeah, we're trying to get the graphic. Oh, no, I didn't realize that I'm sorry, because you asked me before we went on, and I saw the schedule. I'm like, yeah, that looks great. Heck of a job.
What a great start. Why don't you go you've got it in front of you, so I'll grab a visual, and then you take us through the regular season here. All right, Purple Daily, the biggest Viking show in America. We have no idea what year it is.
2024 schedule. Okay. So the Vikings, what's interesting here is there is a common theme, which is Sunday noon games. Now, of course, things can be flexed, things can be changed, but they are going to open Sunday, September 8th, which is that first weekend at noon at the Giants. So a little Daniel Jones, I would imagine.
Dimes.
And then weeks 2 through 5 get really intriguing. Okay. So home opener the following Sunday, noon again against the 49ers and Brock Purdy. Not easy at all. Defending NFC champions. Week 3, the 22nd of September, noon versus the Texans. Welcome back to Danielle Hunter, but you also get CJ Stroud. I'm going down a path here before the bye. And there you go. Okay. So the 22nd there.
Sorry about that, folks.
CJ Stroud. And look at this. This one's even nicer, too. It's more condensed. It's perfect.
And it's the right year. It's great.
Yep, it's 2024. Now we have now fast forwarded to the future. Then you go to Lambeau Field to play the Packers, which is good because of the time of year. I'd far prefer to play there in September than I would in November. But you get Jordan Love. And if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, you travel to Tottenham Spur Stadium and get the Jets and Rodgers. So, Phil, I think the first thing that I see that I'm intrigued by is assuming that Brian Flores fares better against Daniel Jones than Ed Donatel did, and I'm going to assume that's the case. I'm very intrigued by those next 4 games as far as quarterback matchups and, of course, the return of Hunter against Houston on the 22nd.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. The first month here, the September games, it depends on how you want to break this down. There's like intrigue factors with all of these, right? San Francisco intriguing, the Danielle Hunter, Jonathan Grenard stuff with Houston, Green Bay, obviously, the Aaron Rodgers, former rival. But also, these are just harder games. I mean, at the Giants, you're playing a road game. The Giants aren't the most formidable opponent on your schedule, obviously, but it's a road game to start the season, and you don't really know what your quarterback situation is right now. So we'll pick the games tomorrow. But San Francisco, tough. Houston is going to be really trendy as one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the NFL with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, I think they're good now. I think that's legit.
At Green Bay, at least it's not at Green Bay in the cold weather of December or January. But yeah, a lot of noon stuff here. A lot of potential for Kenny Albert and some sort of weird cruise on Fox and CBS. Not a lot of primetime love here, early part of the schedule.
So there's 17 games, and of those, there's no time yet that has been picked for, as you can see, the TBD for the Lions at Ford Field in the last game of the season. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 noon starts right now.
Yeah. 2
primetime games, and then just because of the time zone, in week 16, a 3:05 start at Seattle. But I mean, this thing is chock full of, let's not put that team in prime time unless we're forced to, because they turn out to be superior to what we thought. Aren't you surprised December 8th, the Falcons game? I really thought that would be a featured game just with the Kirk Cousins factor.
It is primed to be flexed. If those teams are both
True.
relevant, you could easily flex that game. It is interesting that they go, so November 10th, 17th, 24th, you go road, and then you go home.
Very weird.
I don't know if I've ever seen that on a schedule before. 3 straight road games,
I don't
3
think so.
straight home games.
Not for the Vikings. Like we have seen 3 of each, and I have long said this. I hate 3 consecutive home games because you don't play, you play, you're going to play 1 in London, you're going to play 8 here and 8 on the road. I would far prefer if they put those 6 games back in a blender and mix them up.
Yeah, it's always interesting how they...
I don't really like this.
Like this is something, it's like the algorithm tripped out or something and a human didn't come in to fix it. But we'll fly through the whole thing here real quick and then summarize some things. So week 1 at Giants, week 2 home against San Francisco, week 3 home against the Texans, week 4 at Green Bay, week 5 home against the Jets. Bye week. That's London against the Jets.
Yep.
Bye week. It's a home game off of your slate, but it's a London game against the Jets. Bye week is week 6. And then you come back from the bye home against the Lions, at the Rams on Thursday night. So immediately you go bye week. You get the Lions, and then boom, you play a game right away against the Rams.
Back too.
Yep. And then getting into November, home against the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 straight road games. Again, these are mostly noon games here. These ones I'm rolling through now are all noon games. At Jacksonville, at Tennessee, at Chicago. Into December, home against the Cardinals, home against the Falcons, and then you go home against the Chicago Bears on Monday night, December 16th. At Seattle, home against Green Bay on December 29th, and then at Detroit to wrap up your season. No Sunday night football?
Nope.
To this point?
1 Monday game, 1 Thursday game, and how about this? This would be worth going back in the archives for the fine Purple Daily research team to find out. When's the last time both Packer games were scheduled for noon?
That's a great question, man. Like almost always you get some sort of prime time, a Monday, a Sunday. It's an easy game to throw in prime time usually. Is the theory here that the Vikings with a big shrug emoji at quarterback at this point are just unless they're not going to put like Sam Darnold in prime time, and they don't really know what JJ McCarthy is going to be yet either. It wasn't like they set out to put CJ Stroud and the Texans in prime time 6 times last year. They didn't know if he was going to be good, right?
Sure. Well, yeah.
But I still think Justin Jefferson is fun to watch, marketable, right? Fantasy football fans love to watch him.
Well, plus, I just thought that there was some potential here as far as like intriguing primetime matchups, like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Like the Packers once. I'm not complaining. As a fan, I actually like this because noon starts are great. You get up on Sunday, watch a hour of a pregame show, and then your game starts. But I am a little bit surprised that there wasn't like a Detroit game in prime time. The Vikings have always, for the most part, carried weight because they're a team that is consistently competitive, which I think helps their cause. But yeah, this is definitely, I think there's some feeling there must be from the league and the networks that if we don't know when McCarthy's going to start, we're not going to show you much, which is probably at the end of the day, really, and I guess this isn't shocking, largely right now, a vote of no confidence in Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Some people are asking in the comments section, did Judd get any right on his mock schedule from a few weeks ago? I'm just going through here, but you nailed that Week 8 game at the Rams, Judd. So
Thursday night, too. Thursday night.
I
nailed a Thursday night game. How weird is that?
Oh, you had that as a Thursday night game.
I'm almost positive I did. Yeah, because I said that they would turn around because this was a Thursday night game. The game in the Coliseum that Cousins tore up the Rams and the Vikings lost was a Thursday night game. And that is a McVay O'Connell reunion.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I thought I had that as a Thursday night game.
But then you had a bye. So
yeah,
you
I
had
predicted the bye wouldn't be after the Jets game because 2 years ago with the Saints, the Vikings got them to put the bye later.
Okay. And then you also nailed Lions in Week 18.
Okay.
You had them home, but it's road in real life, but I think that still counts. It's pretty good. You got super close on Seattle. You had Seattle Week 15. It's Week 16.
Oh, I see. The league screwed that up.
So it looks like I think you got 2 right. You got 2 right on your mock schedule.
Well, I'll take that. And the Giants game I did not see that being an opener.
Which game? Let me ask you a couple questions here. Which game do you think is most likely, or give me like 2 games that are most likely from like Thanksgiving forward to be flexed into primetime if the Vikings are served surprisingly good?
Falcons for sure.
That Green Bay game on the 29th?
Oh, yeah. The Green Bay game is a good one. I think that 29th, that can still be flexed, right? Because I think the Week 17, they set the time and then it can't be moved again. Or it certainly can't be flexed around again. I think they set those in stone. But I just think in looking at the schedule, the reason why I think they might have put the Falcons game in December was to make it a noon game now, but potentially flex it.
Yeah.
But you know what? As far as the schedule goes too, Phil, and we said the exact same thing last year, but I think it holds true. If this team is going to surprise and overachieve, I think we'll know within those first 5 games.
Maybe. I mean, yes, I mean, because obviously there's a chance right now. I don't know if Vegas has lines out for any of these games, but like at the Giants Week 1, probably Giants favored by between 1 and 3 points. You're an underdog there. You're going to be so let's assume underdog Week 1.
Yep.
You'll be a home dog almost certainly against San Francisco. Now it's hard to predict beyond that what the lines are going to be, but like right now, if you're setting a line for a home game against Houston would be favored in that game, probably, right?
1.5, you think? 1.
Yeah, 1.5, 2.
Yeah.
At Green Bay, they would be a favorite at this point.
Yep.
That game against the Jets that's real coin flippy. London.
Yeah, I think you might be the favorite there, but again, it won't be very much.
And then a bye week, home against Detroit. Again, right now in this moment, if the Vikings played Detroit at home, Lions 2-3-point favorite in that game. At the Rams favorite.
Yep.
The first game right now that I could see if all of these lines were being made today that the Vikings would be favored in is that home game against the Colts on November 3rd. Doesn't mean you can't win a game or 2 or 3 or 4 that you are, or that the circumstances couldn't change because of injuries or whatever.
Right.
But then again, it's all just fluid because some of these teams that you think are going to be garbage on paper might actually be competitive and vice versa.
Well, the Colts are a great example of that because with Richardson back now, if he plays the entire season, that franchise could be totally different.
Yeah, and what if he's not? Yeah, what if he's not good?
Yeah.
Like, and that's where so you said we're going to know right away, but I think there's a chance, just first glance at the schedule, they could get off to a weird start, like a 2-4 or whatever, like a 3-5 kind of a thing. And then, or I guess it's the first one, it's the first 7 games that are kind of in question. So what if you start like 2-5? San Francisco beats you, Houston beats you, Green Bay, Detroit, whatever. But then like, once you get to November, you can actually make some hay here because these aren't teams that scare the crap out of you. The Colts at home, Jacksonville doesn't have a ton of great weapons. I do think that was a team that was in like first place in the AFC before the Trevor Lawrence ankle sprain.
Yes.
But Tennessee, Chicago with a rookie. Chicago is in a very similar spot to the Vikings where young quarterback, weapons, trying to figure this thing out. Arizona at home. Kirk coming back to Minnesota with all that pressure, people booing him maybe. Another home game against Chicago there on the 16th. So you could make some hay on the back half of your schedule here. If you get things together. JJ McCarthy ready to rock and roll?
Oh, potentially. I just think the most interesting thing within, especially before the bye, but yeah, in those first 6 or so games, 7 games, I think the most interesting question is can you tread water to keep yourself in a decent position there?
Yeah.
And look, I mean, if this team doesn't track for the playoffs, we shouldn't freak out. So like, it's not, my God, I think that they can win. But the top of that schedule is a real gauntlet when you go San Francisco, Houston, Green Bay. And to your point, the Giants, if the Giants were here, I'd feel pretty damn good about that game, but 2 years ago, the Giants were a playoff team and you're playing there. The Rodgers game I'm intrigued by, and as we discussed on PD this morning, I'm a little bit surprised that that's the game that they actually moved because I think there could have been, again, a primetime element to him coming back here and playing at US Bank Stadium. But it is interesting when you talk about favorites and spreads. You are hard pressed to find a lot of games as we talk about this now on May 15th. You are hard pressed to find a lot of games in which you think the Vikings are probably going to be clear favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I'm just going through mentally here, again, right now, today, tail of the tape, right? At Tennessee.
The is the problem. At Chicago is the problem. Arizona,
home Chicago favored, home Arizona favored.
Yep. Atlanta? I think you're
boy. I mean, a lot of the
favored, but
a lot of the sports books have like a 1.5 or 2 win gap between the Falcons and the Vikings right now. Like you can find Falcons at like 9.5, Vikings at like 7.5. So yeah, they're going to be underdogs with most of these games on the schedule.
And I will propose this: we have sort of forgotten about it because it's not our problem now, but that Falcons game is intriguing because Kirk Cousins is not a young man coming off an Achilles. There's a fighting chance Michael Penix could have to be playing QB by then. There's at least a chance.
There is a chance.
You're a 36, 37-year-old now?
36.
Okay.
36. Yeah.
With an Achilles, and we're talking deep into December?
Well, something else interesting about, because these schedules aren't just random. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. The NFL made sure if there's any question at all about Kirk coming back for week 1, week 2, maybe there's a setback or something with the Achilles. It looks like he's ahead of schedule. Like all the talk about it is good. Hell, he's actually joining the ESPN live coverage tonight as one of they're bringing him on as like a guest to talk tonight with like Mina Kimes and Shefty.
I'm sure he'll break it down.
Yeah. But the NFL made sure that this game was second half of the schedule so that Kirk's Achilles is healed and he's presumably playing and healthy. I know you're speculating on Penix, but by the time you get to December, the Achilles shouldn't be a question anymore. So
yeah, or it'll burst and then it won't be a question because he'll be doing ESPN full time. We also tomorrow on the more thorough breakdown of the schedule with Declan, we should also project a McCarthy start. Like if McCarthy is to start, where will that start be? Because I see some potential here. I see some potential in how the season is going. It's an interesting, the schedule breaks down in a very interesting way for if you were going to transition, if you felt that he was set to go, that there are some favorable times to put him in.
Yeah. No, let's come up for tomorrow. We'll definitely pick the schedule, but then let's come up with like, I don't know, a handful of fun questions like that we can
Quarterbacks as well. Like
around.
it's actually, I went through it. Quarterback wise, it's an interesting schedule. Like you're going to face a lot of, well, in some cases very good, but in some cases at least tough QBs. There's not a lot of cupcakes here.
A lot of young quarterbacks that are going to have to deal with complicated Brian Flores looks and defenses,
but some guys with howitzers.
Yeah.
I feel like Daniel Jones, knock on wood, I feel like he is a good guy to start against, though.
Well, it'd be nice if you could take advantage of that little revenge game against the Giants. I know they knocked you out of the playoffs, but if you can beat them in week 1, 2 years later, then we can go.
You remember when the Vikings beat the Falcons to open the 99 season?
Yeah. We always get our revenge in the lower leverage schedule. So just some other things here. I'm going around. The NFL is posting like the primetime schedules. So let me go through some of the high profile stuff here, schedule related, and then we can put a wrap on this. The Thanksgiving Day games this year, November 28th. Bears Lions on CBS. Giants Cowboys on Fox. Okay. And then we get Dolphins Packers on NBC for the late game.
Interesting. What's the Packers primetime presence like?
Across their whole schedule? I don't know for sure.
It's usually
here, let's go through some of this. So
all right.
Monday night. Let's see here, the NFL making me scroll for this. Here's the Monday Night Football schedule. I won't go through all these games, but let's just count some interesting ones. There's some duds in here, man. Like Falcons, Eagles.
You try to defend them today.
Man,
the Monday
Jaguars, Bills. Okay, Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence. No Packers. Boy, the Packers' only scheduled Monday Night Football game is Week 16 against the Saints.
Oh yeah, I'm looking through their schedule right now. It's a lot of noon starts as well.
So they're not getting a ton of love here. And then we've got the Thursday night schedule. There's your Vikings Rams in week 8. There's some interesting ones. You got a Giants Cowboys in week 4. You got they're putting some division games in here like Seahawks and 49ers in week 6. But there is obviously a Packer. Everyone gets a Thursday night game. So Packers and Lions are week 14.
Yep,
right there. And then Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, this is where
Sunday night.
This is the penthouse, and the Vikings have not been deemed worthy of the penthouse or the club.
No. The Lions get 2 Sunday night games. The Packers have only one scheduled Sunday night game. So it's week 15 against the Seahawks.
Okay.
So it looks like Packers' first scheduled primetime games are like December. So no love for the Packers either.
It's been a long time since Packers got left out in the cold.
Here's the Sunday, because you're right. This is like the Cadillac of the NFL schedule. So we go Rams and Lions week 1. We go Bears and Texans. So you're going to get two great young quarterbacks. We got the
Caleb Williams game. They better hope he's good, by the way.
Yeah, it could be really weird if he's not. Then you get, how about this, week 3, you get Chiefs at Falcons. Patrick Mahomes, two of the guys from the Netflix quarterback series.
Oh, God. Okay.
We get Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson week 4.
Yep.
Cowboys Steelers week 5. So they're projecting like either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Making that offense more interesting.
Steelers, I think, are expected to be much improved, aren't they?
You get another Steelers Sunday night game 2 weeks later, week 7, Jets versus Steelers. So the Steelers have 2 Sunday night games with Russell Wilson. The Vikings have none.
Better hope the Aaron Rodgers Achilles holds up.
Well, they're putting him back on Monday night for week 1. A little deja vu for him. As we wrap this quick episode, glancing at the schedule, any final thoughts from you? We'll do a full deep dive tomorrow.
My final thought is this. The two things is one, the November 10th to December 16th, 3-3 confuses me greatly. My second thought is I'm trying to recall, and again, this is going to take the PD research department to do some work tonight, which I know that they work endless hours. When is the last time the Vikings didn't have a Sunday night game? on a schedule. Feels like it's been a while. Now they have been flexed in, so I might be a little bit off there, but it feels like they usually get one, like the Packers or something. Like there's a division opponent. This is the most, as far as start times go, this is the most milquetoast Viking schedule I've seen in a long time.
And you know what?
Which
it's
is
probably
fine.
not the worst thing. This is kind of
if I'm O'Connell, I'm thrilled.
It's kind of a transition year. It's definitely not like a tanking and a full rebuild year because you do have some big time talent on this roster, but it's kind of a question mark year. You're not really sure what you're going to get out of the quarterbacks. You're trying to develop JJ McCarthy, and it's like the pre-window year. Mm-hmm. If like 2025 is the opening of a new window, maybe you can get there a little early and take advantage of the back half of the schedule, or if J.J. McCarthy is ready to rock, or if Sam Darnold is better than he's been in his career because he's driving this car. I think my main takeaways are it's all noon games. It's a lot of tough opponents early, and then you've got a couple weird stretches in terms of, like you said, 3 road games, 3 home games throughout the back half of November into early December, but a lot of winnable games on paper the back half of the schedule too. So,
Great comment here, and it's dead on. Kirk's dream schedule, all noon games. Kirk Cousins might win 14 games, 15 games with this schedule.
Wait, you're looking at the Falcons schedule, or you're looking at
this?
this? Oh,
I'm saying
I got
the
you.
Vikings.
Got you.
If you put Kirk back here, look at the schedule. It's basically a noon smorgasbord.
It's great. It's hilarious. We could do that exercise too. If you put Kirk back on this team with this schedule, what would the record be?
Win. Bye week win.
To fly through this one more time for the audio audience. Week 1 at Giants. Week 2 home against San Francisco. Week 3 home against Houston. Week 4 at Green Bay. Week 5 London versus Jets. Week 6 bye. Week 7 home against Detroit. Week 8 at the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Week 9 home against the Colts. Week 10 at Jacksonville. Week 11 at Tennessee. Week 12 at Chicago. Week 13 home against the Cardinals. Week 12 home against the Falcons and Kirk making his return. Week 15 is Monday Night Football home against the Bears. Week 16 at Seattle. Week 17 home against Green Bay. And then Week 18 at Detroit. That is your 2024 Minnesota Vikings schedule. I'll be jumping into a live stream to break down the 2023 schedule again, if you guys are interested.
The preseason games really threw me for a loop.
Yeah, it's kind of a little mishap there. I'm blaming their website because I literally clicked on their, like, we're all excited, refreshingvikings.com. And I clicked on it. It shows me the schedule, and then it had like a PDF option to click on. So I did, and we went live, but they hadn't swapped out the previous file yet. Always read the label, kids. Always read the label.
I blame Wes Phillips because clearly he's got a lot of time. He's been designated to hit the button, and he didn't hit the damn button in time.
Blame Wes Phillips.
They're like, darn it, Wes.
So, all right, full breakdown tomorrow. We'll have some fun questions. We'll pick the schedule for the first time now that we know what the order of opponents is. And that's the Sports Dad, Judd Zulgad. I am Phil Mackey. This is Purple Daily, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.